Hi everybody, my name is Marcos Casiano, and I'm here to tell you about my tales from the road. Okay, now the adventure continues as always. Playing music was a lot of fun. I still play, but I mean the early days were really fun because I was meeting people. I felt like I was growing, and I was learning a lot. So now I'm in Nashville, and I've been there for a while, and I was living in this building that had other musicians in it, and one of the guys in the building, his name was John Wesley, and he was a bass player, and he played for a group. They had a number one song on Dr. Demento, and the name of the group was the Holy Molar Rounders. And John was a really nice guy, and he was quite funny, and we got to know each other quite well, and we actually started on a recording project with another songwriter. There was a lot of songwriters in Nashville at this time, and they needed little bands, and we would help each other out. A lot of camaraderie. We didn't charge anybody. We just went there to the studio. For me, it was great because I got to hone in on my studio skills, and working in the studio was a lot of fun. And so I got to know John really well. Like I said, we had worked on another project together. And one night, my friend Kurt, who I was kind of like living with at the time in Nashville, the guy that I came to Nashville with, Kurt Conroy, Kurt said, let's go to the Exit Inn tonight. There's a guy named Guy Clark playing there. Now, I didn't know anything that much about country music or who Guy Clark was, but Kurt did. And so we went to see Guy Clark at the Exit Inn, which was at the time kind of a famous music venue. It was a club, but they always brought in some really good acts. I saw a lot of great acts while I lived there. And so at the end of the show, I see John over there, John Wesley, and I said, I'm going to introduce Kurt to John because at this time now, Kurt, we're talking about doing a recording project. That's why one of the reasons Kurt went to Nashville to record. And I'm going to introduce him to this bass player. I said, Kurt, that's John Wesley over there, the guy in my building, he plays bass, you know. And so I go over there, and John's just snarkered. He's really super drunk. And I introduce him to Kurt, and I'm like, oh gosh, you know, I don't know what kind of impression he's going to make on Kurt. And at the end of it, I said, man, I'm going to see if John needs a ride home because he's snarkered, you know. He's just like, And I said, John, let me give you a ride home. Do you need a ride home? How are you getting home, John? Oh, John's like, how am I getting home? He goes, the Golden Rocket is taking me home. Now, the Golden Rocket was his 1965 Mustang that he had that looks like it was spray painted gold. It wasn't original out of the factory. So that was how I introduced Kurt to John, and the Golden Rocket took him home that night. Now, maybe a few months later, I see John. I said, John, how's it going? How's it going, John? Well, you know, he said, they kind of took my license away for, you know, driving while drinking, drunk driving. And so they sent me to drunk driving school. Okay, well, what happened? Well, I showed up to drunk driving school drunk because I thought you were supposed to. I thought they were going to teach you how to drive drunk. Oh, gosh. So that was my other story with John. John was a character, nicest guy you ever meet. Then one more story with John. What happened was John had to go to prison. He was he had committed a minor crime. I'm not going to say what it is. It's not important. But the FBI had been looking for him for 3 years and couldn't find him. And it seemed like every time John moved or went to a new place to work temporarily, the FBI would show up later. But John by this time was long gone somewhere else. So one day, some guy calls John and said, hey man, the FBI was here looking for you, man. And he goes, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know the FBI was looking for me. So, you know, he did the right thing. He turned himself in, and he had to go to prison in Pine Bluffs, Arkansas. There's nothing there but a prison. So, you know, after John gets out of prison, he wasn't in there very long. We're talking, and John goes, yeah, Marcos, you know, while I was in prison, I was playing in the prison band. It was really cool, man. I'm playing with these guys and having a lot of fun. And he says, one night they're having a Christmas party, and we get on the prison bus, and they went somewhere to play some prison party. And John goes, yeah, the guards, they got drunk. So I had to drive the bus back to the prison. Because John, you know, having been on the road before with other bands, knew how to drive a bus. So now the guards are drunk. John drives the bus back to the prison. Everything's okay. Now, John's about to get out of prison. His time is up. He didn't serve a lot of time, and he's about to get out. But the guys in the prison band are like, John, come on, man. Can you stay in a couple weeks? We got some more gigs lined up, you know. I mean, I guess when you're in prison and you got gigs lined up, you want to do them. So John agreed. So he agreed to stay in prison 2 weeks longer to do the prison gigs wherever prisoners play. I don't know if they go to other prisons or they go to the warden's house, but that was a story. I thought that was kind of funny that John stayed in prison 2 more weeks to do a couple more gigs. Okay, more next week. Bye-bye.